just saw you tear across this piece of the desert, and now it turns out you're a grandfather.
Welcome to 10-Minute Travels. With me, as always, is Phil Freeman.
And with me, as always, is Shane Patrick. And we have with us Charles Fleming, adventurer, journalist, motorcyclist. And if you want to learn anything more about 10-Minute Travels or what we do, check out 10minutetravels.com.
Let's get right to it, shall we?
I remember the first time being in India with 10 friends, and we were doing a safety ride in New Delhi. And the guy took off. He goes, "Follow me," and he went right into traffic, right into just amazing Star Wars traffic. And everybody in our group was shocked that we had to try to keep up with this guy. And we pinned it. Some of the bikes were not in very good condition, and we're weaving through the traffic, trying to stay with this guy. And every time I got close to one of the other riders in my group, they were laughing out loud at just how ridiculous this was. And I just remember that was the common thread that kept us all a group of friends all the way through the trip, is that our immediate reaction to this chaos was laughter. And laughter is medication. It's meditation, right? It's just a way of coping. And there's nothing better than that.
Well, that and the ability to laugh at yourself. Somebody told me, develop the ability to laugh at yourself. You will never ever lack for entertainment if you laugh at yourself. I took a group of people to Cuba to do a ride in Cuba, and the morning of the ride, as we were getting ready to leave Havana, I circled everybody around and I said, "So remember, none of you guys have ridden in Cuba before, and you're not familiar with these bikes, and you're not familiar with the roads or the traffic on the roads, and here are some things that you should learn to expect. And at least for the next couple of hours, guys, let's take it nice and slow. Let's just go really easy, get used to the road, get used to the bike. You know that often the accident happens on the first day or the last day, so let's get through this first day safe." 2 minutes later, I was on my ass, sliding down the road, bike falling apart, sparks going everywhere. I wasn't hurt. The bike was still rideable, but I mean, it was a perfect demonstration of, see, guys, that's what I'm talking about. I told you could be dangerous, and there's my demonstration. I managed to find a big patch of oil mixed with a big patch of water on a turn that I didn't see coming. And so that's what I mean, guys. I mean, you have to laugh. You have to laugh at yourself when you do things like that.
I wonder if any of your sparks started a couch on fire.
Hey, there's an idea. Maybe that's how it happens.
Could be.
Charles,
Habit of asking folks too, Charles, what are you reading at the moment?
Well, I just finished reading a novel that a friend of mine has written that is not yet published. So I have spent the last couple of weeks going through that and making notes and trying to help her make a great book, a really great book. And I'm hopeful that that's going to be good for her. I have just finished reading a book called Breath, which is an amazing look at human physiognomy and how it has changed since we were apes, and the ways in which the brain getting bigger made the jaw be a different shape, made the throat be accustomed to position relative to the mouth in a different way, which meant more breathing through the nose and less through the mouth, and how this has led ultimately to apnea and to sinus infections and to all these other things. And it's an idea about how we can take what is essentially a prehistoric body that's been altered a little bit and start to train ourselves to breathe again in a way that eliminates apnea and eliminates sinus infections and eliminates other, breathing problems. So I don't know why I read that book. Somebody suggested it to me, but it's blown my mind that to think about the ways in which we have modernized and civilized and altered our physiques in ways that are not necessarily really 100% good for us.
Yeah, I read that book too. bunch of years ago. It was just sitting on a table at one of the pilot houses. And there was weather. I needed to read something. And yeah, that how long did that guy plug his nose up? Like a week or something, right?
I think it might have been longer than that. Yeah, he and a guy that he was doing studies with, they both completely sealed their noses so that they could not breathe through their noses. And then they did it the other way around. Then
Right.
they sealed their mouth so that at night they could not breathe but through their noses. And what they reported was 2 weeks of breathing only through your mouth, and you are going to be very, very, very unhealthy. And 2 weeks of breathing through your nose, you're going to feel fantastic, especially when you're sleeping at night. So, yeah. I also read, speaking of breath, I just read a book by a woman who has all kinds of world records for time underwater and distance underwater. She is a cave explorer, one of the people who has been a pioneer in exploring and mapping underwater caves all through the Gulf, under Yucatan, and inside and outside of glaciers and the polar ice caps. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. Uh,
What's
going down 900 feet and then swimming underground a mile and a half or 2 miles and picking up fresh tanks and doing rebreathing the whole way, and then being that far in and then suddenly something goes wrong. Like, it just gives me the creeps to even describe it to you. But
You're giving me chills, actually.
what's the name of the book, Charles?
I might have to send you a note on that, because
Okay.
I one of the great things about being 70 is how you can actually wind up being the cliche that you thought you were going to be, that you actually do forget things, and you actually do have trouble hearing things. And when you get together with your friends, it's what one of my friends calls the organ recital. You all sit down and somebody's talking about, his back problem, and another guy's got a kidney thing, and another guy's got his shoulder, and like tune up the instruments while we all complain about our bodies. So I can't remember off the top of my head, but I will.
I was in my 30s or so when I realized that we were on our way to becoming the thing that in 10 years that annoys us right now.
Oh yeah. The book is called Into the Planet.
Hmm.
The author is wait, come back. Come back. Oh, really? You're going to do that to me? It's called Into the Planet. The author has now disappeared from my. See, that's what we're talking about, right?
Our robot will be able to figure it out.
Yes. Hang on, I can get it back. Jill Heinerth, Heinerth.
Hmm.
Terrifying. Absolute terrifying. But fascinating, because again, life at the extreme, people who live lives at the extreme ends. That's a fascinating thing to read about. I have no ambition for that with scuba. I don't even want to go explore a shipwreck. I just want to go down where the pretty fishies are and not have to come right back up to catch another breath.
When I was in Botswana, one of the guys that I met, he used to take people scuba diving with crocodiles.
Mm.
He pioneered putting GoPros on crocodiles and mapped some of their middens and all of that stuff. And I mean, I spent time with him. He seemed normal, but clearly insane.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. But on the other hand, I mean, I know people who think I'm insane or who find me really amusing. They're like, what did you do on the weekend? Well, I have borrowed what is apparently the world's fastest off-road motorcycle. It's made by a company called Stark. It's an electric motorcycle. It is the quickest motorcycle made for off-road. It is horrifyingly fast and powerful. Luckily, you can tune it so that all of the power is not there right away. And my wife and I saw some people last night, and they just sort of smiled and cocked their heads slightly and said, "Good for you. Good for you." Obviously thinking either, well, isn't that cute? The little old man on the motorcycle in the desert. Or like, I think you're out of your freaking mind, but I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say, good for you.
Good for you.
So nice. Sometimes when I'm taking motorcycles somewhere, people will stop me and want to ask me about the motorcycle. Or sometimes when I take my helmet off, and then they will look a little either confused or entertained by the idea of, oh, you're not like 30. Interesting. Like, I just saw you tear across this piece of the desert, and now it turns out you're a grandfather. Good for you. Good for you. Isn't that nice?
Charles, awesome. So thank you very much for your time. And I know Shane was going to enjoy this for sure, but really looking forward to putting it on the air. Awesome. Thanks for your stories. Appreciate it. And it's inspiring, really. I enjoy the walk one.
Thank you for having me on here. I always like talking about this stuff, and any opportunity to talk to Phil and meet a friend of Phil's is a good day. So thank you guys for welcoming me onto your podcast.
Thank you.
And I'll do what I can to see if I can't lobby for a friend's trip for you, Charles.
That was Charles Fleming, journalist, adventurer, walker. And if you want to learn anything else about 10-minute travels or whatever we do, check out 10minutretravels.com.
And we want to remind you to make sure your sense of humor matches your sense of adventure. And please like, subscribe, and share this podcast on all the platforms.